All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm going to read the appeal of decisions. Pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that any decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. Metro Council referrals.
I do not see any council members here today. No, he's not a council. No, he's a staff. He's a park staff. None today.
Okay, none today. As you know, we have a public comment period. As a reminder, speakers have up to 2 minutes each to comment on matters that are germane to the items of the agenda for the meeting. I have a sign-up sheet here with a couple of folks on it, a couple of our favorites. I will say we are going to have an update on Brookmead Park with the director's comments later on, if that's matters. Oh, okay. And then we all, right, anyway, we need to have consideration of the minutes first. Let's see. So we have the, do we have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, there we go. The minutes are considered in the record. All right, back to the public comment period. Dee Dee Bird.
Good afternoon. I have a couple of issues today. The first one is 02-24-02 on your agenda, and it's the contract with Broken Paddle for the space that is the input and outtake area for kayaking and paddleboarding off Coley Davis. My husband and I and our family are avid kayakers. We use that parking lot all during good weather. And when Broken Paddle started last year, they take up over half of the parking spaces with their racks for their kayaks and with their equipment. It's a very small parking lot, and I'm concerned that there's no place for public parking. On many occasions, we had to go either to Highway 100 or out to Hidden Lake, I think is what it's called, to put in or take out because there was no parking at this facility. So it concerns me that we're giving them a renewed contract, and how much are they actually entitled to, I guess is what I want to know, because they take up over half the parking lot on weekends and holidays. And then the second thing I have is, of course, Brookmead. I'm so excited to hear that there's an update because we want to know what we're going to do with the survey results. And also with the plan to pay, I have just one little statement. In 2002 was the first plan to play. And we were a community park at that time, and we've been promised multiple things along the years. None of them have ever come to fruition, not a soccer field, not a walking bridge, nothing. And so we request that we're included in the plan to play, and that there is a plan for Brookmead to become a community park once again that has amenities that we can use. It's not just a sidewalk and an overlook with a battlefield dedication, which is wonderful, and the Native American angle is a wonderful angle, but that's for another day. So I'm excited to hear what the update is, and I hope Brookmead is included in the plan to play. We've been a community park that has not come to fruition totally since 2002. Thank you.
I'd just like to acknowledge Councilmember Clay Clapp, who has just joined us. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Ingrid Campbell.
Good morning, or good afternoon, actually. I'm just speaking really briefly. I wanted to say thank you. As coming from the District 5 area, McFerrin Park specifically, we have a lot of incidents where we have the need of the Metro Police Department, the Park Patrol. So many incidents have been going on, especially in the last 6 to 9 months, and you have come with a solution for us that we even discussed the electronic gates, and other things are going to be allocated to the community so that our safety and hopefully the Kia incident drops. So I thank you, and this is coming from the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We always appreciate a compliment. All right, so old business? This one. I don't understand. All right, we're going to start with new business, 022403, Board to affirm appointment of Ms. Cheryl Mays over here, representing the Metro Nashville Public Schools as a member of the Parks Board. Mrs. Mays is completing the term of service previously filled by Christiane Buggs, who we will miss, by the way. We wish her well in her new endeavors with the Pencil Foundation. Then we'll go back to the old business. Staff requests .012405. Staff requests approval of 5 conservation greenway easement dedications for the White Creek and Ewing Creek greenways located across properties at 4808 Buena Vista Pike, parcel ID 059006500, at 4804 Buena Vista Pike 059001860, and 4800 Buena Vista Pike number 059005700. Might have missed an O. For the purpose of future expansion of these 2 greenway systems, dedication of these easements was conditions of Metro Council approval of preliminary 2023 SP 026001, Council District 2.
Council District 1. This item came before Acquisitions Committee and recommend unanimous approval.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Nay? All right, we have it. It's passed. Consent agenda, 022401, board approval requested of the following consent applications. Do we just pass that?
Take the consent agenda in its entirety.
Yep. Request to take the consent agenda in its entirety. Do I have a second?
Move it to second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion about the consent agenda?
That one issue on 02402, the broken paddle outfitters that was discussed, brought to our attention, wanted to ask about the parking. And so if we could address that
Jim?
before we approve.
I don't know if it's on. Anyway, so that's Broken Paddle Outfitters. They operate out of the Coley Davis space there. There's space for about 30 cars. And historically, I'm not aware of any issues or problems with that. It's not a real big operation, and that's not their only location. They operate up and down the Harpeth River. But have you heard of issues of parking?
We were just made aware through the public comment that there, since Broken Paddle has had the permit, that there is concern about the number of spaces that it takes up. I'm not familiar with.
We will do a good job tracking that. I don't think it's been 2 years that they've had a permit there, and so I've never heard of any issues. But I'll pay attention to it and
maybe track it over the next permit
Yes.
cycle.
Yes.
Okay, if we could just pay attention to that.
Yes.
Spacing and
Absolutely.
maybe in the next year.
Okay.
I guess is how it would work.
I will.
Thank you. Those are my comments, Chair.
Very good, thank you. So then, let's see, vote to pass the consent agenda.
Call for the-
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Nays? None? All right, so that's passed. All right. All right, so new business. So we had the first item we already discussed. 022404, Grow Enrichment request permission to renew the 2024 permit for facility use for the property located at 3150 McGavick Pike at Two Rivers Park for a community garden. The permit is for a period of 1 year contingent upon all 2023 permit obligations being met. Council District 15.
Staff recommends approval.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Nays? All right, that's passed. 02405. Staff requests approval of a permit for the use of park space for the Nashville Tree Foundation to establish a working tree nursery on approximately 1 acre on the property located at 12924 Old Hickory Boulevard, Antioch, Tennessee, at Moe Ridge Park. The permit is for a period of 1 year, contingent upon all permit obligations being met. Copies of the permit will be available for review at the board meeting. This is in Council District 32.
Staff recommends approval.
Any discussion?
Chair, I'd like to note my recusal from this item.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. And opposed? That passes. 022406, Mr. Phil Claiborne, President of Friends of Two Rivers Mansion, requests permission to host the following 2024 events at the Two Rivers Mansion with a waiver of usage fees, alcohol consumption, and to remain in the park after 11 p.m. if necessary. This is in Council District 15. You can see all the various times there. Any discussion on that?
Staff recommends approval.
Seeing that, any discussion?
Move for approval.
Second, all right. Vote, all in favor? Aye. Against? All right, that passes. 022407, the Percy Priest Yacht Club requests permission to base its regatta and other sailing activities in Hamilton Creek Sailboat Marina and to serve, not sell, alcohol beverages for 3 hours after each event. PPYC also requests permission to isolate one parking lot and launching ramp at Hamilton Creek from 6 a.m. to 12 noon for Regatta 2024 event dates. This is in Council District 13. You can see the various events. There's 3 of them. Staff?
Staff recommends approval.
Do I hear a motion? Motion to approve. All right. All in favor? Aye. Against? All right. That passes. Let's see here. 022408. Kinney Playhouse Theater, Inc. requests permission to serve alcohol at the lobby theater for performances of the piano lesson during the following Council District 2. Council District 2. You can see the 6 dates there. Staff?
Recommend approval.
Any discussion?
Just a note that that's the Luby Theater in Metro Center. And I move approval.
Second? Second. All in favor? Against? All right. Moving right along. Let's see here. Staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant not to exceed $3 million from the Friends of Warner Park to fund the renovation and expansion of the Warner Park headquarters. There is no required match or other obligation required by Metro Parks associated with this grant. The project will be paid for directly by the Friends of Warner Park, Council District 34.
Mr. Vice Chair, if we would roll back to 022409 before that one. It was
Oh, wow.
another Luby request.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll discuss this one then? Right.
022409. If you
All
could
right.
go to that one.
022409, Ms. Ashley Morrison, board member of the fundraising chair for Circle Players, requests permission to serve alcohol at the Luby Theater during the following performance. That's in Council District 2.
Staff recommends approval.
Discussion?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Any nays? All right. That's passed. On to 022410. Staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant not to exceed $3 million from the Friends of Warner Park to fund the renovation and expansion of the Warner Park headquarters. There is no required match or other obligation required by Metro Parks associated with this grant. The project will be paid for directly by the Friends of Warner Park. This is in Council District 34.
Thank you. Staff recommends approval, but we have Ms. Jenny Hannon here from Friends of Warner Park to offer remarks.
I have a presentation, but I will share it with you. I will tell you that the original building that we are in is part of the historic overlay for our National Historic Preservation. And so the place we started before this renovation was with Metro Historic. And so all of their recommendations have for this building have come from them. We have been working with William Hastings Architecture, who's very familiar with Metro Historic, on what we can do and can't do in this building. This building was built in 1937, very shortly after the park was given to the city in 1927. And for about 50 years, it was used by a park employee, last used by the head of the tree crew. In 1987, he left the building, and we, Metro Parks, Bob Parrish then became superintendent of Metro Parks, and it was that time that the Parks Department, Park Board decided that Warner Parks needed a headquarters, and so Bob, as the superintendent, moved into that building with Friends of Warner Parks, which was established around the same time in 1987. So for over 37 years, we have been working side by side in this building. Bob still works in this building 45 years later. We did a lot of research on the expansion and the renovation. Does this get me right? And our goal is to renovate the headquarters, investing in the organization, both to protect Warner Parks and make sure that we continue to benefit Warner Parks as we have done for the last 37 years. The office we've grown in staff, and we share this office, as I mentioned before, with the Metro Park employee who is over all of the special events for Warner Parks. She does all of the reservations for the events, obviously works with Jim and the staff here, and we, again, work very closely with Cammie. We came to the $3 million budget after Hastings designed the building. We did take it out for bid just to see, and then we met with the Metro Parks maintenance staff, because this will be a Metro Park building ultimately, and after that meeting, we put some additional contingency in the budget. They were, as I think Monique remembers, when we worked with Metro Parks to build the facility for the mounted patrol, after the project was finished, we had to come back to Metro and say, oops, there's a $250,000 water system that needs to connect to the building, and we didn't want that to happen, especially after meeting with the Monique, the staff on the maintenance folks. And so we have put some big contingencies in this budget to make sure that those expenses don't go back on Warner Parks. We hope to perhaps break ground this summer of 2024, or more realistically, probably in the year of 2024. So again, this is some of the expansion of Friends of Warner Parks. Our priorities were really capacity, community events and programming, work environment, privacy, and safety. And I'll run through these really quickly. I think it'll be obvious when we get to the different areas. We have a capacity issue with a lot of storage, and both on our side and the Metro Park side. We really do not have a place where we can meet with our volunteers. We hope to have volunteer orientations, volunteer appreciation events, our board meetings at this location, committee meetings, and also for the Metro Park facilities to have this a place for people who want to reserve meeting space, reserve shelters, and work. Cammie can't meet with anybody in our office. There's really no room for any meeting space at all. We have a work environment. We hope to create a better working environment for all those working in the office. The building is very old and has shifted a lot, so there's very little use for, or any place for privacy. And we also have one restroom, and many times that restroom is used by people in the park who are looking for a place, so they knock on the door. From a safety perspective, nobody come, it doesn't meet codes, don't tell anybody right now. And then we have a lot of mice and spiders and things that we really think, just from a health perspective, that need to be improved. We did do a strategic study to figure out where the best location would be. In the 1987 Metro or Warner Parks master plan, there was a recommendation that this area be used as a campus for activities that would take place in the park. So we really wanted to keep it there to really be true to the 1987 plan and expand the campus there. We did look at sites outside of Metro Parks, but very cost prohibitive to do that. So it was recommended by Hastings, given our existing parking lot, the topography, the timeline and the scope, and as well as the tree canopy, that we would keep the headquarters right where it existed, or it's existing now. Here is the original headquarters. I will say there was an addition. The front porch on the picture on the far left was added about 20 years ago. So that was the only addition to the building 20 or 25 years ago. This is the conceptual drawing where the existing building that, again, Historic has not allowed us to really touch any of the outside, only the inside. And then, so the buildings would be connected through a walkway that is not pictured here, but they would be connected that way. Again, here is another picture with the parking spaces inside the building. We'll probably haven't worked out who will go where, but would like to keep the existing building as the Metro Park headquarters and allow Cammie to stay there and work out of there, but we'll share spaces in both the buildings. And this is another view of the conceptual. And again, this is just very conceptual. So we needed to come here, get this approved before we move any further. Thank you. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. 022411, staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant not to exceed $182,125 from the Centennial Park Conservancy to fund the installation of an Art Century security system at the Parthenon. There is no required match or other obligation required by Metro Parks associated with this grant. Staff.
You finish reading.
Oh, there's more.
Some more. A bit more.
The project will be paid for directly by the Centennial Park Conservancy. CPC will coordinate the project with Art Century, the Parthenon, and Metro Parks staff to ensure the successful installation of the new security system. This is in Council District 21.
Staff recommends approval.
Discussion? All right, all in favor? That one passes. 022412, staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant valued at approximately $35,000 from the Friends of Green Hills Park to install a new water fountain by the playgrounds at Green Hills Park. Staff also requests acceptance of an in-kind grant from FOGHP valued at approximately $800 to construct a wind telephone in Green Hills Park. There is no required match or other obligation required by Metro Parks associated with this grant. The project will be paid for directly by the Friends of Green Hills Park. Staff?
Staff recommends approval. Does anybody have a question about what a wind telephone
Yes.
is? I thought you did. Joe?
Come on, Joe.
Okay. A wind telephone in Green Hills Park? What is a wind telephone?
If you got to Google it, you can get back to us.
I have no idea.
There's a picture in your packet.
What page is that on? All right, well, we'll look that up after, okay? Let's see. So, all right, so any more discussion?
It's like a pipe that you talk in one end.
Okay, all right, order here, come on.
Wait, am I aging myself? That I know what that?
It's okay. Any further discussion on this matter? All right, anybody move approval?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we got a new wind telephone booth, wind telephone booth. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, 022413, staff requests approval of a lease agreement between Metro Parks and Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms for the redevelopment and management of the Naval Reserve Training Facility in Shelby Park, which is in Council District 6. Staff? Any discussion or questions? Seeing none,
Just going to acknowledge that you all approved the term page for this agreement a few months ago. So it reflects a lot of that in the term page.
all right. Any other discussion?
Move for approval.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, that passes. Let's see. All right, 022414, staff requests approval of the Parthenon de-accessioning policy and recommendation to Metro Council that the proposed items be removed from the museum's collection. The Parthenon wishes to de-access 244 individual items originating from Western Mexico. It is in the best interest of both the objects and the museum to return them to their original home. This is in keeping with the museum's best practices. This is in Council District 21.
Staff recommends approval.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor? Opposed? All right, back to Western Mexico. 022415. Staff requests approval of a 10-year renewable license agreement between Metro National Government and the state of Tennessee, allowing Metro Parks to use a portion of the licensed premises to install, operate, and maintain Phase 2 of the 440 Greenway project. There's no cost to Metro to enter into this license agreement. This new 440 Greenway segment will connect Sevier Park to Galening Park to Browns Creek Park and Greenway, and is part of the planned City Central Greenway. This is in Council District 17 and 25.
That will be deferred to the acquisition committee.
Deferred to the acquisition committee. Okay. Very good. Now our favorite part, special presentations and staff recognition. Wellness, community, recreation, and cultural arts to present an annual update to the board.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to present an overview and an update for the community, wellness, community, recreation, and cultural arts division. I've had the pleasure of serving this division for 21 years, and I would say we're the fun division, 21, yep. I would say we're the fun division. We are directly charged with providing programming to the many communities that we serve. So let's start with community centers. Someone hit the light for me out there. Hit the from the beginning. There we go. So who do we serve? We serve everyone. Starting from our after-school programs, our former after-school program serves children 6 to 14 with additional special programming for after-school students. After-school program currently serves 1,700 kids between the hours of 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday when the school doors close, hours open. Our CACFP program, which is our after-school meals program, it's in its 4th year of existence, serves over 500 healthy meals daily at 14 locations. Our summer program serves over 2,500 children Monday through Friday between the months of June and July from 9 to 4 p.m. with an array of activities and recreational opportunities. Homeschool programs offered at 5 locations. Top program offered at a variety of locations. 12 Girl Scout programs, 9 Cub Scout programs, and 4 NASA after-school programs. So NASA stands for Nashville After School Zone Alliance. It's a partnership between public schools, library, and over 30 youth development organizations, including Metro Parks, all devoted and dedicated to enhancing opportunities for middle school population. Foreign adults often say we are the 3rd place. There's home, there's work, and there's community centers, and we take pride in enhancing their opportunity of life with a variety of paid land and water classes offered at our 10 regional facilities. Free fitness classes also offered at regionals as well as various neighborhood locations, including water exercise, line dance, chair exercises, and also an array of recreational opportunities, including adult basketball, pickleball, volleyball, line dancing, teaching kitchens, and more. I'd be remiss to omit our senior programs. We have 3 home sites, East, Elizabeth, and Hadley, operating between 8 to 4:30 with hot meals served from Metro Social Services, and 12 satellite sites. Our seniors love their citywide events. Most popular ones are the lip sync battle, which was held a few months ago at Hartman, and also our senior Valentine's Day ball, which tickets sell out in a matter of hours. It's that popular. Pickleball tournament, 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, spades tournaments, senior picnics. Seniors also enjoy excursion trips. Trip to Paris, Tennessee for the world's largest fish fry. And most recently, a trip to Niagara Falls, Canada. We have over 300 seniors in attendance to date. A unique aspect about community centers is that each community center has the autonomy to develop programming to fit their needs of their community. So some of those programs, special programs, are the Smith Springs Strutters Line Dance Group, the ever popular Hadley Park Line Dancers, the ever popular Hartman Park High Steppers and Line Dance Group, Madison Step Team and Dance Team, East Park Dance Team, Smith Springs Youth Band, and Hartman Youth and Adult Band. So community centers take pride in hosting special events. Some of those, just to name a few, are the New Year celebrations, daddy-daughter dances, Easter events, Valentine events, shoe drives, coat drives, Halloween events, Christmas toy drives, and giveaways. Community sports section, we have adult basketball leagues, God-skill volleyball and basketball clinics, youth t-ball, flag football, soccer, volleyball, and basketball leagues. You won't find a cheaper option or sport options in the city that will meet the kids in their neighborhoods. We partner with local professional sports organizations, the Tennessee Titans and the National Soccer Club, and also local colleges and universities. We serve over 1,800 youth participating in our youth sports programs to date. Community pools. Community centers operate 6 indoor pools year-round, 3 outdoor pools, 2 spray parks seasonally. Pools offer programming for the entire family. Kids are enrolled in our after-school programs, get to take part in free swim lessons. Open swim, lap swim, water exercise classes, senior water classes are offered at all indoor locations. Napier Pool, which is in your top right-hand corner, is our only indoor year-round indoor pool. Was opened last year and successfully certified 8 out of 10 youth participating in the Lifeguard Academy. I'll be remiss to admit our very own community tennis center, Hadley Tennis Center. Offers summer camp and after-school programs, hosted a junior tennis tournament with 65 youth participating. In 2023, a tennis play day was a tremendous success with 180 youth participating. Hosted first adult tournament on October 21st with 30 participants. The tennis center is highly utilized by the general public, earning a little over $132,000 in revenue and court fees this last fiscal year. Moving on to our Cultural Arts Division. Cultural Arts Division led by Sherry Hipp, Superintendent, Catherine Wiggin, the Dance Supervisor, Dr. Kalina Crawley, who's the Music and Theater Supervisor, and Joshua Wagner, Visual Arts Supervisor. Locations are Centennial Arts Center, CPAS, Luby, and an array of community centers. For almost 60 years, the Cultural Arts Division has provided low-cost, high-quality program for the citizens of Nashville. Classes, camps, art exhibits, special events are held in community centers and parks across Nashville. We can't do this without the support of our friends groups with dance, as Friends of Metro Dance, and Creative Parks Nashville with music, theater, and visual arts, and very thankful for Centennial Park Conservancy and the National Parks Foundation. Dance began in 1965 and has served thousands of individuals in its 58-year history. Centennial Youth Ballet presents 2 annual productions, the Mini Nutcracker and the Spring Production. We also have community classes with youth, Top Time Ballet and Tap, and for our adults, ballet, active aging, Tai Chi, and Pilates. Our music division provides recreational opportunities to Nashville youth, families, and adults with classes, workshops, and free summer concerts, big band dance, Red Caboose concerts, and Tales at Twilight. Theater division provides high-quality, affordable acting classes and opportunity to perform in front of a live audience to children. Centennial Theater Academy has an after-school program, workshop and camps, at Lion King Jr., which was held in spring 2023, which is our first full production in the last 3 years. Celebrate Nashville. We have partnered with Celebrate Nashville since 2011 in the production of this celebration of music and cultures. This past October, we had over 50,000 people attend this festival. Save the date for October the 5th of this year. Our visual arts department is housed in Centennial Arts Center, coordinates all visual arts programs, originally a segregated swimming pool built in 1932. Reopened at Centennial Arts Center in 1972, celebrated 50 years in 2022 as a visual arts center, and most recently, historical marker added in 2023. Our visual arts class provides quality art and cultural experiences through classes, workshops, art exhibits, and special events for youth, families, and seniors and adults. And this last slide just shows how robust our classes are, well attended, and high demand, waiting lists on a current basis, and we're very proud of that. This concludes my presentation. I'll take any questions.
Did y'all take a bus up to Niagara Falls? I mean,
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
wow, that's a long trip.
It is a long trip.
And do you personally teach any of the line dancing? Or
No,
is that
sir,
someone
I don't
else?
have any rhythm anymore.
I never had any, so. Okay, any other questions here? That's fantastic. I mean,
Thank you.
that's almost overwhelming.
I appreciate it.
All right, next one is Friends of Two Rivers Mansion to present their annual update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Director Odom, members of the board. I'm Phil Claiborne. I'm the founder of the Friends of Two Rivers and returning for a round as the president for 2024. So it's always glad to come and tell you what's going on at Two Rivers Mansion. I provided a booklet for you there. We'll run through that really quick. On the second page, you can see the events that we hosted in 2023. We try to do something that is appeals to every appetite, and so you can see we had a variety of different kinds of things that took place at the mansion. On page 3, thing you'll probably be interested in is our financials. Our 2023 budget as adopted by the board was $33,950. Our actual revenue for 2023 was $22,699, and our expenses were $31,446. It's interesting to note here that the budget deficit for 2023 was $11,251, but our expenses were actually only $2,500 less than the projected budget. So the deficit can be credited basically to the cancellation of our annual fundraising event. In the fall, William Blunden, who is the last living relative of the McGavick family, passed away. He was a patron of the Friends Group, and he had an extended illness, and his funeral took place here in Nashville during the time frame that we would have been holding that. And so it was our decision as a board to honor him and his love for the mansion and the investment that he's made in the mansion over the past years as we've been a Friends Group, and not hold that. So we were deficit because of the absence of that those fundraising dollars. Our budget for 2024 is $26,350, and I would just note that that number may be impacted. There is a significant restoration work ongoing at the mansion during this year. It's projected to take 12 to 14 months. They're in the process of erecting scaffolding around the mansion now. Probably within the next week, it'll look like an erector set out there. So we're kind of in a year of flux here. Last year, we signed an MOU with the Parks Department giving the Friends of Two Rivers permission to host events at Stone Hall. And that agreement specifies that all the revenues for events there will be earmarked for the conduct of those events and for restoration work on the house and the grounds at Stone Hall. And since we have no history with that property for the coming year, we don't have a budget because we're not sure exactly what we can do or what we're going to do. So when we come back at this time next year, then we'll be better prepared to offer a budget that includes Stone Hall. Going over to page 4, I've just listed for you a summary of the events that took place during the year. There's a total of 89 days of activity represented on that page, and the estimated attendance from 2023 at the mansion was 15,000 plus. Many of those were first-time attenders to Two Rivers Mansion and to the property there at Two Rivers Park. Page 5, master plan progress. We had a master plan in 2016, and the first 2023 was the 6th year of that master plan. The first 5 years, The goals were listed as increasing visibility and visitation at the mansion, new facilities to alleviate rental usage in the mansion, new public use assets, and generating revenue. So based on the recent information from EOA architects and design development drawings for an event center are currently under review by Parks. And once those have been approved, then we're hopeful that construction documents will be coming forth in the not too distant weeks. The eventual completion of this facility will enable, obviously, a much wider range of revenue-producing activity for the property, and it'll also ease the strain on the mansion. We can take activities out of the mansion, and it will open the door for us to transition Two Rivers and the 1802 house into true house museums that we can use specifically for educational purposes and for tourism. The organization, we've worked consistently toward increasing visibility and visitation. Some of the things that we've done during this period of time, interpretive signage has been added to the grounds that relate to the mansion in the 1802 house. We've done a major redesign of our website. It allows for a more interactive experience. There's a virtual tour of the main floor on the website, and we also now have a calendar that establishes visibility for open dates. We've hired and trained 2 new docents this past year. The bathrooms have been repainted, outside lighting upgraded around the mansion. The front entrance columns at McGavick Pike have been repointed. And the original iron gates at the entrance have now been refurbished. We've added new carpet to the double parlor, and we have recently requested permission to begin looking at plans to convert a portion of the second floor apartment back into an original bedroom. And we have been given approval by Metro Historic as well as Parks to proceed with those plans. So that gives you an idea of what we've done in 2003. I'd like to invite any of you that would like to come to the mansion, if you've never been there, to do so. You can get in touch with Director Odom, and she can put you in touch with me, and we can work according to your calendar. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
It's so good to see you, and thank you so much for the report. We were there in November. God, it seems like 2 weeks ago, but we were just there in November. Excellent work happening at the mansion. Got an opportunity to go over to the house that you're speaking of.
1802?
Well, is it 1802?
Yeah.
1802, and go upstairs and see. It's really fascinating. Y'all, the dresses are so small. They were that little. But really, really good. And thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Appreciate it. We're going to turn to special presentations, staff recognition. Ms. Cindy Harrison, Joe Stovall to present Plan to Play, Parks and Greenway Master Plan to the board. Got a duet here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Make sure this works back. Phil, if you hit that light for me. Thank you. These first couple of slides, we're excited to let you know about the progress we've made since the master plan was adopted 2017 through now, February of 2024. These first couple of slides will set you up for what the metrics were used for the original Plan to Play in 2017. In 2017, they looked at 6 areas, benefits of parks and greenways, some things that we've learned since 2017, especially for the global pandemic and the recent natural disasters, is a need for space for social gathering and psychological healing. Recreational use by residents and improved health of residents was also a huge improvement since 2017. In 2017, there were 5 areas of focus that staff used for the Plan to Play: land, facilities, programs, operations, and funding. Our update here this year, we hope to have done by 2025. We'll also add emphasis on greenways, connectivity, and implementation of the plan itself. These are some of the areas that they also used in 2017 to gather their data. Some of the peer cities that we used. Obviously, we had a huge community outreach, so community meetings and surveys will also be a strong point in 2025 update as well. These are the numbers from the 2017 community input. And as you'll see on the next slide, our population has grown, as we all know. So we hope that community input will also be a huge part of the 2025 update as well. Some key findings and recommendations in the land. As you can see, our population has skyrocketed. We've added almost 1,700 acres since 2016. Some of the land progress projects that we've done, a couple of the recent ones, Cassie Gardner Senior Park, and one that's coming soon, currently in design, is Mariposa. We've also opened up Ravenwood Phase 1. We're currently in the development process for Lytle Bend, which is also known as Ravenwood Phase 2. Mill Ridge, we've got 622 acres. We've got Phase 1 open, and we're looking at a Phase 2 and a Phase 3 coming soon. Phase 2 is currently in design. Phase 3 was submitted with the current CSP plan for approval. Some key findings and recommendations in the facilities. To note, by 2027, we were expected to get 481,000 square feet added in our facilities. Right now, as of February 2024, we've added 176,901 square feet. So we're almost halfway there with 3 years to go. Some facility project that we are doing right now for Negley. The CMAR is currently out for bid. The stonework restoration Phase 2 will be done at the end of March. And we're currently working on design for Phase 1 of the master plan. Centennial Park Phase 3 is also getting ready to go to bid, hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months. Some other facility progress, some greenways, some trails. Some of the 2,000 square feet, or nearly 2,000 square feet, the 176,901 to be exact, of the facilities, which Stefan talked about earlier as well. Bellevue, Madison, Spit Springs, Hartman, Antioch, and coming soon, Old Hickory. We hope to have that awarded here in the next 60 to 90 days. Some key findings in the programs. As you'll see on the slide here and in the packet, you have all the ones with the check marks are the ones that we have completed. We've done a fantastic job when it comes to programs. As you'll notice here, I've also made a note, Stefan and his crew continue to have growing wait lists, which demonstrates community support and the need for expansion and investment in our parks. Some key findings and recommendations for operations. Huge takeaway here is conducting a staff level assessment. That was done, and we have substantially increased Metro Parks and Rec staff. We've done a fantastic job of getting qualified people in and keeping them. Some key findings for funding the future. Big takeaway here is that since 2017, our funding has significantly increased. But due to continued population growth and rising costs, we need to prioritize our level of investment in our parks. So my team and I did a 2024 overall assessment, and some takeaways that we had was the timeline for the goals. As you see, we've made great progress, but we still have 3 years left. So our population has surpassed what we were expected in 2031. So it's a great place to live. Obviously, COVID and climate events had a huge factor in our progress. And then looking forward, the Plan to Play 2025 update We updated data, assessments, and goal setting will shape our vision for the future of Metro Parks. We have exciting upcoming projects, and not only upcoming projects, but we have great partnerships with our friends groups. Departmental growth, we've done a fantastic job, like I said. Several Metro Parks divisions have more than doubled just over the last 48 months. Some enthusiasm. COVID, as we all know, made many people recognize the value of parks and public spaces. So we plan to have very strong community input in our 2025 update. So that's it. Any questions? As we blind you. I would also like to clarify the wind phone. The wind phone is of Japanese origin, and it is thought as a way to talk to deceased loved ones as a part of healing. So.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification on
I'm
the.
sorry about that.
No,
That
no,
caught me
no.
completely off guard. Sorry.
Thank you for the clarification
ma'am.
on the wind phone. It is not exactly what I was thinking of
Yes, ma'am.
with the, that we used to have, but
Correct.
it is a phone for healing and for that. And so we just want to apologize for the
ma'am.
banter, but we do have the information and it has been approved. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. You're welcome.
One question, John.
Yes.
Great presentation. Really excited for the level of engagement I think that's to come for this. Will we as a board be given notice and updates so that we can help promote the opportunities for the community to give feedback?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
And I'll stay up here and go ahead and do the update.
Yep, go right ahead.
All right.
Cindy, don't go anywhere. You're next. Okay.
I'll hit some highlights for you. First in Gay, the park redevelopment, we're about 70% done. We hope to have that to bid by May. Fort Negley, the stonework repair is at 90. That's actually 95%. We've gotten further along since I've updated this. We hope to have that delivered by the end of March. Lytle Bend Park, which you saw in my presentation, which is also known as Ravenwood Phase 2. We've had the kickoff meeting and we've accepted the proposal. So we're working with our design partners on that. Madison Station, same thing. We're also working with our design partners on that. We've accepted that. Mill Ridge Phase 2, we're working to have 20% by the 1st of March. Old Hickory, as I saw in my presentation, we're ready to award that. We're having our final meeting with procurement on Thursday of this week. Sevier, Sunnyside Mansion, the construction is in final stages. They hope to have that open by the end of March, 1st of April. And Trinity Hills, we have accepted the proposal and we are working to get a PO to our design partners for that project as well. So with that, any questions?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Greenways.
Thank you. As you know, we've got 5 different Greenway projects right now through capital funding that are in design. So we're continuing on with those. The Charlotte Corridor Rail with Greenway project. We're continuing to work with the rail line on an easement agreement there and looking at 3 different property acquisitions that will happen as part of that project. There will be more than 3 easements and hopefully acquisition of property there. The 440 Greenway, Sevier Park to Browns Creek Park, it's a mile connector, and I think at the last meeting we reported that has to go to FEMA for permitting, which can be, we were told, anywhere between 6 and 12 months. Otherwise, that one is on schedule, and we hope in 2025 to be building that Greenway. The Park Plaza 440 segment includes lighting, and it includes retrofitting the existing 440 Greenway with lighting. So we're working on that manual that will allow us to take those standards and use those on other greenways across the county. And that project, we should enter construction at the end of this year, maybe sooner. Let's see, the Whites Creek Greenway at Hartman Park, our design team is working on details of the scoping and due diligence on that, looking at the site and understanding the challenges and opportunities there. One of the first things that will happen with that project, of course, will be community engagement. We have a Wharf Park to Riverfront Park feasibility study for Greenway, which has just wrapped up, and they're kind of dotting their i's and crossing their t's on that, but we'll have that ready for anyone to look at. Opry Mills Connector, as you know, it's been a challenge working with all the requirements of that grant, but we're continuing to push that one through. And I want to touch a little bit on some of the privately funded projects as well. The item earlier that you approved, the 5 easements at Production Row, that's a Ewing Creek, Whites Creek Greenway land acquisition. It's a no cost to Metro acquisition. It's bringing another 15 acres into the Department for Conservation and Greenways. Those, we don't always have to own the land. Sometimes all we need is an easement, but it is a bit of a process to go through that. The 440 Greenway, you all approved. It was on your agenda today for the license agreement with TDOT to utilize their excess land, just like we did on the first phase of the 440 Greenway. Really, to be able to build a greenway, not have to buy property, but to have that property open and accessible to the public is a win for us. So we are sending that on to you all and then to council. And then two things. The Bellmead Plaza, Richland Creek Greenway, continuing to work with that development team. They're sending their plans to Metro Water Services and working on their final site plan with us. We've had several meetings on that, and it's going very well. And then I mentioned, I think at the last meeting, that we'll be cutting a ribbon on the greenway behind the Sound Stadium. We thought that date would be in March, but it looks like it's going to be May. We'll keep you posted. Of course, we'll want that to be a big celebration, to be able to open a greenway that's been closed for quite some time. So happy to entertain any questions. All right, thank you.
Upcoming special events, Jackie Jones.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to keep this short, and I'm going to run through these very quickly. The sheet that you have in front of you are permitted events in the park. So you can see that on February 10th, we have the Chinese New Year celebration over at Musicians Corner in Centennial Park. Also on that day, we have the Cupid's Chase 5K race from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Shelby Bottoms. And also over at Fort Negley, we have the Fort Negley Fossil Dig, which is a quite popular event for the kids who come to Fort Negley. So I wanted to sort of call those out to you, but I also wanted to let you know, in addition to these permitted events, there are always things going on at Metro Parks, and I think you guys know that. To give you an example, and I will, as I said, run through this very quickly, many of these are with Steve's Community Centers. They always have something going on. Always. At the Antioch Community Center, they have Walk with a Doc, meaning walk with a doctor. That's at the Antioch Community Center on Blue Hole Road. That event is scheduled for March 4th, so you might want to pencil that into your calendar. Then on February 17th, Metro Parks and our community centers, along with the Omega Sci-Fi chapter, is doing a talent hunt. And they are doing that over at Z. Alexander Luby Theater. Actually, these will be the performances. The hunt has already taken place. So that's going to be a great and entertaining event. Also at East Park Community Center, we have a health fair going on Wednesday, February 21st from 3 to 5 p.m. And one of our more popular events, especially with kids, we have the Flag Football League, and that season starts on April 12th. All of the details for these events are either on our website or our social media pages, and Channel 3 has helped us out a lot by putting our events on their billboards in between the meetings that they broadcast. So that pretty much concludes my report. But again, and that doesn't take away from the fact that the Parthenon they just got through with a book club event over at the Centennial Sportsplex. I think they still have the Synergy classes going on. Is that correct? There's always something going on at Metro Parks.
Any questions? Thank you, as always. Director Odom?
Sir, and Parks Board, I just want to thank our team and reiterate what Jackie just said. There's always something going on in Metro Parks. And I just want to, again, encourage you all, when you have the time, to visit a facility or an event and take part. Because, again, there's always something going on, and there's something for everybody. So, as I told you earlier this afternoon, our team visited with the Public Facilities and Arts and Culture Committee of the Metro Council last month. We gave an overview of parks operations and priorities for the department. It was a great and productive conversation. We are currently, as you probably also know, in the process of developing our FY25 budget submission. We're up against a deadline this week, so we will get that submitted, and I will share that with you all at the next Parks Board meeting, particularly the operating budget. Also, as you know, and we have talked about, the FY24 capital spending plan, Mayor O'Connell has proposed, includes about $32 million for Metro Parks and Recreation. We are excited about that. It includes deferred maintenance items and development and continued development of a couple of parks in the system, or planned park developments, in particular Mill Ridge Park and then also Mariposa Park. So we are excited to see that come forth. You all requested last month an update on Brookmead Park and Greenway. And so I'll run through some information and then entertain your questions if you have those. So as you know, the budget for the renovation of the park was about $1.2 million. That was from American Rescue Plan funding that was appropriated to the department. We've actually spent about $474,000 of that. The bid for redevelopment or renovation of the park was released on January 24th. By Metro's procurement department, and we're waiting on responses to the bid. Last week, our team had a pre-offer meeting, and also had on-site meetings with potential contractors there. As you also know, I think the request for the update, particularly by the Parks Board, had to do with the results of the survey that we did. There were 614 people participated in the survey, and similar to the previous community meeting, those results were published. We sent those to you directly and also published those on our website. And for the most part, the survey responses clearly lean toward passive activities. The top 10 responses indicate that really, for the most part, people are interested in, again, passive activities. The top 5 survey responses: paved trails, restrooms, disc golf, paddleboard, and kayak access, covered pavilion or picnic area are great suggestions, but not viable because either the topography or the acreage and accessibility and/or cost. So we have talked about that internally, about the restrictions of that particular property. So going forward, the department plans to return the park to its original state and function, which was a greenway with open space. The configuration, location, and topography of the park does not lend itself to some of the amenities seen in other parks in the system. I think there was an inquiry about remediation, and the contractor that we work with said there was nothing that led them to believe that they needed to go to a phase two remediation testing, which would have included soil sampling, and testing. We had allocated some funding for Phase 2, but we did not have to utilize that. And in terms of safety, when the park is renovated and it remaining accessible and usable to folks, Parks Police, in partnership with MMPD, will conduct daily patrols and make the appropriate referrals for resources to ensure unhoused and unsheltered individuals are not reestablishing residency in the park. I do want to reiterate that there were 2 opportunities for public engagement. That was the community meeting in September, and then a survey that opened November 15th and closed November 30th, to which as I mentioned, there were about 614 people who responded to the survey. At the community meeting, I think there were about 22 people who attended. And then finally, our estimated completion for renovation of the park is early 2025. Our team is working with Metro Procurement diligently, and they have this as one of our priority projects. And let me just, and then too, I'll conclude my director's remarks and take your questions if you have those. Next month, our Finance Administration Division will present an update on operations and activities. Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a question. I went out and toured Brookmead with some of our staff, and it's my understanding that about 70% of it is in a floodway or flood zone, which does, I mean, I know a little bit of this being the real estate business. It does, I've had some projects kind of waylaid from those sort of things, but it does preclude you from doing certain things. You could probably play, disc golf in it, but you can't put like you said, a pavilion or something along those lines. And I think the only place for a restroom would be up near the parking, is my understanding. So, I mean, I don't know that the public is aware of how limiting that is to what we can do. And so I don't know whether maybe next meeting somebody can explain that better than I can, or but and I don't know that 70% is the right number. Maybe it's 65, but I mean it's pretty obvious.
And I'll just add, I think we have talked about all along the limitations of the property. We've talked about that consistently throughout the limitations. This park site, again, was opened as a greenway and natural kind of open space. It is, because of the topography and limitations of the land, and then because it is isolated, there are some amenities that just would not be safe to put there, given some of the dynamics of our city and our world now. But we are working diligently to get it back open to the community, to again make sure it does not return to the condition with the encampment there. And then too, I just wanted to also acknowledge that with our, as Joe has acknowledged previously, with our master plan update and supplemental, there will be opportunities for communities to give input. And in particular, if there are areas other areas that are suitable for additional parks. There's a process for that, working with the district council member to secure funding, and then coordinating with the department for best practices to put amenities there that the community would like to see. You want to say something about the property?
I was just going to add to what Director Odom said. It's not just the topography of the land, it's also the regulations, stormwater regulations. They won't allow you to put permanent structures in the flood zone. And you are correct, it is about 70% of that property.
So thank you. My last thought on that is, and you just said this, but just to say it again, it seems like if we could find another piece of land that's flatter, out of the flood zone, in that part of town to provide all the recreational things that a lot of people would love to see in the park, that would be great. So there's a process for that, which you outlined, which I was not aware of. And so I'd suggest that perhaps we put some energies there. Let's see, announcements, requests for future agenda items, open items.
Just to ask, what is I'm trying to get my bearings, what is the nearest park? Richland?
Let's see, Richland, Charlotte, West.
2.2 miles roughly away from that, and when we did the 2-mile look, that was about the closest one we came up with. And Richland is a little bit further.
Okay,
For Charlotte, yeah.
Charlotte Park. Okay, thank you.
Any other items for next time, or thoughts, discussions, rude remarks? All right, seeing none, we adjourn.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.